Hey, happy 4th of July. Alright, let's do it. Let me get a sip and then we'll get started on our puzzle rush. Let's see here. Knight D C4, Knight C4 is interesting. Takes. Actually I think we win. Let's see. Oh. Maybe it was Knight C4. What am I missing here? Let me see. No, I wasn't sure on that one. That one was tough. Probably it's an easy one, but I just overlooked it. Oh, we just take there. Okay. So that one was a cincher. I did it too complex. Okay. So we know now. Let's give it one more shot. Wham. Ah, what did I miss? Ah, that was horrible. Sometimes I get into ruts. I hate that. Dislike that, I mean. There's mate there. I missed that. Oh, ouch. Because I actually went a rook. Okay. Ah. I think we win the queen. Huh? I'm gonna give that one more shot because that's just so wrong. I have to get at least 20 to 25 at least. Oh, I usually get around 28 to 30. Let's see, so that's not it. Queen takes. Oh, drat there. I didn't see that fork. That was my fault. That was that was not good there. Had this right, had that right. What did I miss? That's mate. Drat, I missed mate. Okay, let's do one more. Now 100% here. Let's see here. So I think I win the queen. Let's see, do I win the... See, okay, if I play knight g5... No. That wins if I go there. Okay. That wins piece. That wins the queen. Let me see here. So there. Oh man. Gotta be careful here. Let's see queen takes, king takes. Okay. Oh, really? I gotta try that one more time. That's not good. Sorry, this. I know I said only once, but that was just not good on my part there. Let's see. Queens. Yeah, we're gonna do end games. We will do end games. Just give me one sec. There we go. I'll just do one more. This is my last one. Let's see. How do we do it? Let's see here. Let's see if I play knight there. Oh boy. There's something. Oh, the knight. Gotta give it 110%. You know, that's the way of the chess cruncher is the 110%. Let's see, bishop take. Let's see, knight takes. So check there. But I'm trying to do this. See, I'm thinking about playing something like this here, which attacks there. So bishop takes knight, queen takes. That was a tough one. I probably messed up on that one. Let me see. There. Come on, let's get on this. Let's get it moving and a grooving. Yep, that's what we'll do. And then we'll Excuse me. See there, here. Ah, that's it. What am I missing here? I'm not sure. Let me see. That's okay. We'll get on to our stuff. We'll check out this puzzle here and then we'll get on. These were a couple hard right now. I don't know. Let's see. Knight takes. But it's kind of queen. Just. Oh, I see. Yeah. So knight takes there, and then if the excuse me, hiccup there. If the queen were to take, then I take there, and then pawn takes, then I take there. Okay, and then we'll do the second one. Yep, you had it right. And then what we're gonna do is change up a little bit. We're gonna probably do a Magnus end game, and then we'll do an opening, just to switch up a little bit. What did I? Oh, just triple up. Wow. Just triple up. Alright. Let's do it to it. Sometimes it's a diamond, sometimes a stone, but either way, you're learning something. And that's what I figure. Alrighty, let's do the Magnus setup. Okay. Let's clear the board. Set it for black so I don't forget. That's there. Let's see here. Did I get that right? Boom, kaboom. Yes. Still good. Good. Okay. Study. Alrighty. Let's rename it. sure I spelled the gentleman's name right. Yep. Yeah. Make sure I spelled the city right. J-U-S. Yep. There we go. We're gonna flip the board. Madness is black here, so we're gonna take a look at it. Okay, Magnus played an exclam move, so I'm gonna black to move. Black to move exclam. What did Magnus play? I'll be right back. I'll give you a second. Magnus is black. Magnus is black, and he played a move that was an exclam move. Queen E7 is an exclam move. Great job. Great job. Carlsen wants to place the bishop on c5, and Black's bishop is stronger than White's at that moment. So rook b5. Preparing to play, actually, bishop, b3, rook b3, forcing the exchange, gives greater chances to hold. This actually gives a greater chance for white to hold. This is a little too optimistic. Rook takes. C takes D. Rook D8. Rook to D1. Exchanging the rooks may make things even more extremely difficult between the two bishops. So exchanging the rooks make it even worse for white. Magnus has calculated that, and so he goes down right down that line. Queen D6. Bishop D3. The bishop will have no function on the diagonal. So basically on this diagonal, so what they're saying is bishop B3 would have been a demanded greater skill from black, and then it would stop this push if there was a queen that could come in here. But his opponent didn't see that, and so Magnus then played here queen C5, queen E2, and then queen to D4. The queen stands superior on the central squares, pinning the white to the defense, pinning the queen to the defense of F2. This deserves an exclam. So G3 is pawn G3, G6, king G2, king G7. So they're both developing their kings. Bishop C6. Bishop B6. Queen F3. Then F5. Carlsen gains space, and if they want to trade off, more power to him. So queen E2, E5, bishop B7, trying to get him moving and a grooving, and then E4 exclam. Gains massive space. White's getting pushed back, and they're gone. Bishop C6. King F6. Getting the king involved. Bishop B7. King E5. Exclam. Carlsen centralizes his king and defends the E4 pawn. Bishop C6, G5, Bishop B7. Pushing the A pawn would at least distract black for a little bit. So if A4, which would have been an interesting move, trying to distract black from the defense. G4, Queen A2, RF, G, or H3, which is also an interesting continuation. H5, A4. You're probably wondering, why doesn't the queen grab that? Because it's mate 2 at that point. So the queen can't grab it. H4. G takes H. G takes H. And then bishop B7. Black can press, but I see no difference between no, I see no direct win. That's what the author says. So G4 here is an exclam. Carlsen restricts White's king from advancing. Bishop C6. H3. G takes, H check, king takes, queen F2, queen takes, bishop takes, 2, king G2, E1, A4, H5, bishop C6, H4, G takes, F4, and black wins. So H5 exclam. Magnus tightens, as the author says, the screws into the. I call it like the bookcase. He's tightening everything up, making sure all the boards are tightened. Because when you put the bow on the present, you want it to be perfect. And so that's what you're doing. You're making your present perfect, which is checkmate. Okay, E8. If H4, G takes, king takes, queen takes F2, queen takes, oops, queen C4, queen C5, queen F7, and then king D4. Queen takes, king C3, actually, king C3. Now there's bishop D7, queen D1, so we'll look at bishop D7 first. King D2, bishop takes F5, E3, queen F3, queen C4, G2 check, E2, bishop G4, queen takes B5, and black wins. So let's go to queen D1, E3, queen E3, check. King d2. a1. b1. King f2. c2. Queen e2. Queen takes e2. King takes e2. And then bishop d7. King f2. Takes f5, e. d3. e2. Bishop takes. King takes. And black wins as the lawn, so table-based proofs. So this actually would win for black. So h4, and then queen e1. If g takes f8, g takes f4, f4 would win at this point. Or if king f1, queen a1 check, king e1, queen takes a2, g takes, queen b2, b3, queen e2, queen h3 check, g1, and then g3. And black breaks in two at this point. Basically his position is going to break in two. Magnus plays h3 exclam here, and he's tightening up every bit of the thing. h3 is the finishing blow, basically the finishing knockout. King g1, queen b2, bishop c6, a4 would not change anything because e3, and this is mate. If pawn takes here, it's checkmate. So e3. a5, queen c, that's queen c1. Oh, bishop d4. Got it. King f1. Okay, that's good. Who? King f6. Queen e2. c1 check. There we go. e2 check. It takes. c4 check. King d1. Queen b3. King e2. And then f3 at this point. And black wins the queen because of this move here. If he doesn't win the queen, he gets a queen. Queen takes a2. It is nice to collect the pawn. Queen, our bishop b6. Queen b2. Bishop c6. Bishop d4. Bishop e8. Can't leave this pawn. And then e3. Man, this opens up the white king with like a tin can, as I like to say. King c1. King f6. So that he gets out of the pin, so the pawn can actually do some damage now. Queen e2. So basically it's going down that one line. c1 check. e1. Queen takes e1. e2. Queen e2 would have went down the prior line of king takes, bishop there, and would have been decisive as well. And then if he comes back, then we get the same idea after this. We get the same thing. And rook takes, e takes, check, king f1, f4, g takes f4, king f5, bishop f7, king takes f4. Baron resigned. Black has several ways to win. Placing the king on h4 is one, and taking on h2 is the other. So what would happen is you would get the king would come over here, the king would come here, and then at the right moment you would push to break open the position, and you would win at that point. And there's no way to, b5 is neutralized. Or what you could do is after, even if you had to trade these two pawns for this, you could come over, and while the bishop's gobbling these up, come over and grab the b5 pawn and promote the pawn down the board too. So interesting position to say the least. Alright, now we'll do the French defense. We're doing good here. Okay, let's go back to our study guide, and we'll do the French now. I think we're in the Tarrasch variation, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, the Tarrasch, loving it. Or Tarrasch. I want to make sure I have that spelled right. Tarrasch. Got that. Barra. Yep. Boom. Turn the board. The Tarrasch is starting to, we're going into the French defense now. So let's do it to it. e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2, knight f3, f6. This is the question after here. Knight d2. The question arises: why would white passively place his? Why would white passively place his knight on d2? One, black denies any any idea of bishop b4, which would feel harassing to white's knight, and that could be blocked with c5. And it also does away with the Winier, the McCutcheon variation, and the classic French. It does away with all three of those. And if black had tried to pin with b4, now white can throw in c3. So this eliminates the Winier, and white can throw in c3 if bishop b4. 2, by placing the knight on d2, white can back up his big pawn center with the idea of e5, f4, then meet c5 with c3. The pawn c5 push for black with c3, and if black exchanges, then white can recapture with a pawn in the center, not a piece. So what they're trying to say is that if something happened like this, if let's say we played here, 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 and then they played here, we played f4. This actually may not have happened, but this is the kind of setup that they're talking about. That rather than a bishop coming out to guard the d4 pawn, the c pawn now guards it. And so Tarrasch line is the safest one for white's variation of the French. It's the safest line for white. Its principles was played by world champions in Zugzwiller and Zurich. There was a place. A lot of the Frenches were played in this. I think. Let me see. Nope. I'm not sure how to pronounce it or even type it. What is the club level? Okay. You don't need basically the author's saying you don't need to worry about a lot of theory with the Tarrasch variation. This is a game between white is Karpov, Anatoly Karpov, and Viktor Korchnoi as black. If you dream of understanding the secret of the isolated line of the Tarrasch, then the place to start your studies is the Karpov Korchnoi candidates final match of 1974, where they clashed and those two lines came together. It was like two clashing titans coming from the heavens to take down each other. White places his knight on d2 instead of c4 as in the previous chapter. Indeed, white guarantees meeting c5 for the knight, c5 with c5 with c3. And 2, by playing d92, this meets black. This denies b4, again like what we just talked about. Bishop b4, which is seen in the Winier and the McCutcheon variation. So c5 was actually played here. There's a lot of other Tarrasch. This is the open Tarrasch. There's a lot of other Tarrasch lines that could arise, like the closed Tarrasch is at f6. Most principal response is knight f6 and knight c6, either one of those. The odd hybrid bishop e7 could actually be played here. So c5 was played. There's the hybrid of bishop e is favorited by Grandmaster Moravich, and after knight G, E, G, F here, knight F6, E5, knight FD, and bishop D3, C5, C3, knight C, G5, which is an interesting, oops, not B5, sorry, G5, which is, or, so G, oops, I'm sorry, my bad there, castles, and then G5, yeah, that's for black, that was a black move, that's funny, it's an interesting move. So, D takes C as an idea, is the Rubinstein, which we'll examine in the final chapter of the book. And then there's, oops, sorry, back here, for not for white, for black. There's this, which is the Rubinstein. Then there's the, let me see, where am I? A6, which is another way of handling, oh, sorry, the wrong one there. That's on move 3, I mean. There's C takes D, which is, or D takes E4, and then A6, which is the modern Tarrasch. So C5, E takes D5, E takes D5. If white doesn't want to go down that line, he can go knight GF3, knight C6, and bishop B5. C takes D5, C4, that's C takes D5, knight takes D4, bishop D, knight takes, bishop takes, C takes, B take, hold on. Okay, B takes. Ah, I gotcha. Sorry, that's my bad there. Got mixed up on this one. There we go. Knight F6 at this point. It is known to give black an even game at this point. But he took here, so taking on further to isolate the door of black's freedom in line. The exchange of this only helps the weakness of the light squared bishop. So now they're going to be heading towards an isolated pawn type of setup. Knight G F3, knight C6, B5, bishop D6, castles, C takes, D is, it's official now, black accepts an Isolani. Also is played knight G E7, knight takes, bishop takes, and then B3, knight B3. Now I suggest bishop B6, the author says. From his experience, bishop B6 I think is better off than bishop D6. Says that bishop D6 doesn't work the way like here, and then castles, bishop E3, and black either makes unwanted swaps on E3 or loses the C on C7. Yeah, so we don't want that. Knight b3, g7, right, b takes d4. In some cases, black's alone Isolani wields back together if c takes, if the c6 pawn is chopped off the board or taken off the board, reaching a hanging pawn position. So be prepared for the shift, which can happen at any time in the middle game. So castles, c3, bishop g4, queen a4, more aggressive than the meek e2, bishop e2, sorry, this is meek. Bishop h5, is an interesting kind of waiting move. Crochet offers a pawn which Karpov dare not accept. Bishop d7 is a safer course. So bishop, queen d7. If this here, if bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then check. King over. Oops. Wow, that would have been a tremendous blunder. Queen here is actually winning, because if he tries that, you could end up, actually that does not work. This should be 3. If knight takes, which is dubious, that's what they're saying. Pawn takes, bishop takes is a mistake. Queen takes and rook c, a6, bishop takes, check, not check, bishop takes, g takes, and then queen d7, rook d1, rook c4, attempting to swing to the king side for an attack. Rook d4, rook takes, c takes, and rook e8, rook e3, and rook e6. Threatens to play here and then pick up the queen. A puzzle rush tactic after takes. queen takes d5 is a double question mark. He says it falls for a trick of that there loses the queen. So e4 or e3, bishop e3, queen c7, covers c6, and aims to take on c2 after the exchanges of here, and then there, and then we take on c2. h3, knight a5. Worrying white might come c4. Coming in here, coming into c4. a6 is calmer and a safer choice. They're saying a6 is a calmer and safer choice. So the author is so bishop d3. The strategy for b5 to threaten b5. Knight c4. Which Krochnoi ignored. He is sick and tired of waiting around for the attack to come, so he jumps in both feet into the pool. He's tired of waiting for the pool party to happen, so he's like he's been waiting around, and so Krochnoi just jumps feet first and is like, yes, I'm gonna be the first one into the pool, and that's what he does. So knight b5. Queen d7. Once we launched a complete complex idea. One second. Sorry about that. It's fireworks. Sorry about that. Just a little noisy. Okay. Let's see here. Where did we leave off? Oh yeah, he's jumping feet first in. Okay, here. Once we launch a complex idea, it is always it has a way of becoming detected from us. Detached. Sorry, from us. As new in he says like a new child from a mom. So this turns in really into a big time fight here. This is like the ultimate knockout brawl for these two players, Karpov and Krochnoi. He pins the queen, going to d7 pins the knight to the queen, and he cunningly takes aim at h3, and he places his queen on the d file, which appears to be a winning pin, just in case white thinks about trying to do something. The queen will fall. Excuse me. He takes fd1 to pin. It appears that this is a terrible nightmare in the position. Such complex levels of understanding can't be phantoms sometimes, the author says, after such a move could arise here. So you're in a big time problem. Let me get a drink. If oh, did I? Next. If queen takes c4, which is actually a dubious line here, too slow and too just too slow. AC8, queen b3, bishop takes f. Not g takes yet. Knight takes. Rook c6. Exclam. And the king comes under heavy fire. At this point, knight f5, exclam comes in. This looks kind of like crazy. Like they keep each other in sight. You know how they walk around in a boxing arena or in an arena in general, so that they can see who's going to be the first one to punch. This is kind of what Krochnoi and Karpov are doing. They're saying, are you going to be the one to throw? Are you going to be the one to throw? Are you going to be the one? And they go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And that's kind of what he's doing. Is so Krochnoi, not Krochnoi, Karpov takes c4 exclam. So this is an exclam to meet an exclam. And bishop takes g here, but if Krochnoi hadn't of not Krochnoi, Karpov hadn't have taken and instead played g4, this would have been a sound mistake. It looks like you're thinking, wait a second, a sound mistake? Yeah, this is interesting. How bishop takes g4. H takes g4, knight takes e3, knight e5, queen e7, knight takes d6, knight takes d1, rook takes d1, queen takes e5, and white has no compensation for the loss of the exchange. No compensation whatsoever. So he just doesn't go down that route. At last, black's attackers are granted unabridged, fervent punch and attack. Smack. So g takes f3, knight takes e3, f takes e3, and queen takes h3 here. Rook takes d6, loses. It's a double question mark. queen takes d6, exclam, knight takes, c takes, knight takes, and black wins here. White's worry spill over into his king side. This allows black's queen to escape the pin on the d file and deliver perpetual check. Knight takes d6, g check, g to king f1, queen takes f3 check, king e1, and then g3, exclam. And of course, if the king were to go to d2, the queen would grab there. So the king actually has to make the route all the way back to f1, g1 after the checks, of course. They cannot approach. And there's really no way to potentially they could play king up here. Let me see. Check. And this knight's gonna fall. And if the queen comes here, then you could actually lose a piece at this point. He moves here. I think it's still perpetual. There's no way to win. So, yeah. So at this point, they both agreed to a draw. So if we sum up our activities, we must be willing to get our hands a bit dirty with the structure of an Isolani pawn. So the author says that, you know what, it's going to happen if you go down the open line of the French, that you're going to get an Isolani, and how do you handle that then? So let's get on to our puzzles now. So let's do it to it. Are you ready for puzzles? Are you ready for puzzles? Okay. Let's do it to it. If we just do, puzzles without any comments, we're just going to probably do 6 and then call it. But if there's help in the chat, we'll go to 12. But if not, we're going to just go to 6 puzzles. we go. I think we did this, didn't we? And if it takes here, there's mate. I'm not sure. I think we did one similar. It takes here. Then we have mate. And the bishop check. There's mate. I think we did this one. Yep, we did. Drat, I forgot to write him in. Alright. We'll do these 6, and then we'll call it. There. Yep. bishop takes, okay, there, and that's mate h8. So yep. So let's do another one. Mate 2 again. Let's get this going. I'll try to go faster. Yep, white to move mate 2. So let's see what I got here. Checkmate d6. So we got four more after this. You're more than willing to help if you would like to. Alright. Bishop h6. If queen takes, rook f8 is mate. If pawn d, rook takes, and so anything else is any other move. If takes, then that's mate. If any of these pieces move, or those, or that moves, then rook takes is mate. So let's do it on to the next one. 3 more. You're more than welcome to help if you would like to chime in. Knight takes, check, rook comes in, and then rook d8 is mate. Congrats on that. 2 more. Yeah, we're doing good here. check there, and then rook h1 is mate. One more. Okay, last one. Last one. Mate and mate and 2. Last one. White to move, mate and 2. Alright, if you said queen takes h7, you were right. Takes, and then knight takes f5, check, mate. Okay, do you have any questions? I'll give you a minute to talk about it before I have to log off. I'll give you a minute. Do you have any questions on what we went over? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Wanted to thank y'all for logging on. I know we're having a shorter one. We got everything done. It was like a fast one today. But you know what? We have to always keep in remembrance what the Lord said, that, to much is given, much is expected. Same thing with on this 4th of July, Independence Day of the United States of America. The United States has been given much, and to much is given, much is expected. And so that's why, as a chess player also, we need to have that same type of as the Spider-Man's uncle told him, Peter Parker, that's actually what was said in there. And I was like, you know what? When you have much given by the Lord Jesus, you need to take it and honor the Lord Jesus with it. And that's when He gives you a talent, don't bury it in the earth like the one did, because the day will come when the Lord Jesus will ask, what did you do with the talent that I gave you? And if you try to make an excuse like that one gentleman did, then the one person who got the talent, you're going to be sad. The Lord Jesus is going to look at you and say, I had much planned for you, and you made an excuse and you didn't use the talent that I gave you. And He'll take it and give it to the 10. And that's the one thing that we have to always remember, is that, you know what, it's not easy, but it's worth it to be a follower of the Lord Jesus always. But one thing is, you have to remember, in chess, to follow the principles is huge as well. See, to follow doesn't mean that it's weak. It means that you're strong, because you know. Like when we in the opening, you have to develop your pieces, and you have to make sure that your king's safe. Then when you reach the middle game, you control the center, develop your pieces, castle. That's a principle. That's something that we follow. And then in the middle game, tactics happen. But what we studied in the French defense and the Tarrasch variation is that knight d2 for white looks weak, but it stops the winier from black, and it stops the cutting variation of the French. So it stops two of those. But I haven't played the open French before. You could play the closed French with knight f6. That's something cool to go down to. If you don't want to have the sharp lines like what happened with Karpov versus Krochnoi, you can just do knight f6. They'll play e5, pawn e5, white will. You'll play knight f d7, and then after they either play f5 or c3, you can go c5 and then knight c6, all those different lines that could arise. But see, with that knowledge, you need to use it to honor and help the chess community too. So what Bruce Lee said, that you have to take what you know and apply it, be willing to do something with it. And you also have to treasure your victories and learn from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. And remember that there are plateaus. Plateaus happen. We're humans. And you know what? We're not machines. So we have to remember that we do plateau at times. But what do we do when we plateau? We dig in and we keep pushing forward till we get past that plateau or that wall that's in the middle of the road. We keep throwing our graveling hook until we hook the top of it, and then we climb over it and jump over, and we start on the path that the Lord has shown us to do. Things happen in your lives, but it's not quitting that a chess cruncher does. A chess cruncher finds a way to overcome it. That's what Team Chess Cruncher does. We don't quit. We hang up our coats and hang up our hats, and we sit down and study when most won't. Chess crunchers do, to find a way around that plateau or the wall. And what you think about will make who you are, because what you spend your time doing, thinking, you'll start acting that way, and you'll start doing things that you didn't. You got to do things that'll help produce the outcome that you would want as a chess player or whatever field you're in, my friends. I like Yadro Seirawan's statement. Every long journey begins with one small step. So your first step is as important as your middle step, as your end step. But the first step is as important as all three of those. And you know what? It comes down to, you know what, like we said again, the Chess Cruncher motto. Don't give up, get up, and hang up your coat is to say to oneself, you know what? The Lord's given me a gift. Lord Jesus has given me a gift, and I'm going to use it to honor whatever field that He's bestowed me with that gift in. Now I'm going to hang up my coat, hang up my hat, sit down and study when most won't. A chess cruncher does, or you could say I do, and that makes all the difference. And you know what? And I'll leave you with that. And as Wesley So says through Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll have some fun. And we have to always remember to like Hannibal Smith said, to have forcing moves that your opponents go down, that you know they're going to go down, and you have a plan based around that, because that's what the Forcing Moves book is all about. But you know what? And hoorah! And like I say on the 4th of July, God bless the United States, and peace to all. And the blessing of the Lord Jesus be with you all too. Also, bye bye, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hoorah! 2 thumbs up. Great job. Keep studying chess and always having fun. Bye bye.